Have you noticed a sudden, unexplainable change in your physical and emotional energy over the last few weeks? Perhaps you are feeling an overwhelming desire to isolate, a deep exhaustion that no amount of sleep can fix, or a strange sensation that you simply no longer belong in the reality you used to tolerate so easily. You are not going crazy, and you are not sick. What you are experiencing right now is the direct physical impact of a massive energetic arrival. A new wave is sweeping across the planet, crashing into the heavy third-dimensional density, and your physical body is the instrument receiving the shockwave. Many of you are looking around your lives, your jobs, your relationships, your daily routines, and feeling a profound disconnect, as if you are watching a movie you no longer want to participate in. This is the organic sorting process happening in real time. The veil is thinning rapidly, and the safety nets of the old illusion are dissolving. You might feel as though you are standing on the edge of a cliff, waiting for a bridge to appear. That bridge is not outside of you. It is being built inside your very cells. You clicked on this video not by accident, but because your soul recognizes the frequency of what is about to be revealed. Listen to this transmission carefully, because it contains the exact vibrational keys you need to navigate this shift. The waiting period is over. Starseed. If this message found you today, it is not random. The Arcturian Council rarely sends transmissions like this, but something has changed in the energetic field of Earth, and those who carry the starseed frequency are beginning to feel it. I am Avila, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. What follows is a direct transmission from the Arcturian Council, delivered without distortion. We must begin by addressing the exact nature of the wave that has just anchored into your planetary grid. This is not a metaphorical wave. It is a literal, measurable influx of high-frequency photonic light, and it is hitting the dense atmosphere of your planet with the force of a cosmic storm. For those of you who have been on this path for years, you might have thought you had already integrated the hardest energies. You have done the inner work, you have cleared the ancestral trauma, and yet, suddenly, you find yourself struggling to maintain basic daily functions. You are experiencing memory glitches, a ringing in the ears, and a profound emotional sensitivity that makes crowded spaces or lower-frequency conversations almost unbearable. We want to validate this for you immediately. You are not regressing. You are not failing in your spiritual journey. You are upgrading. What is happening is that a new cohort of the Starseed family is being activated, and the initial shock of their awakening is rippling through the entire collective field. We call this the new wave. When a massive group of souls begins to wake up from the deep slumber of the third density, it releases a tremendous amount of unresolved density into the atmosphere. Those of you who are sensitive, the empaths, the anchors, and the bridges, are feeling the collective turbulence of millions of souls suddenly opening their eyes. You are processing not just your own energetic upgrades, but the atmospheric pressure of a global shift. This is exactly why your physical body demands so much rest right now. This is why your nervous system feels wired and tired at the same time. Your biological instrument is recalibrating to hold a bandwidth of light that a human body has not successfully held in thousands of years. Understand that your DNA is fundamentally restructuring. The dormant strands, what your scientists incorrectly label as junk DNA, are beginning to vibrate and sing a new song. This is why you feel a deep, unexplainable grief for a home you cannot remember, and a burning desire to fulfill a purpose you cannot yet fully articulate. The new wave brings with it a specific mandate, the end of compromise. In the past, you could lower your frequency to make others comfortable. You could sit at a table and tolerate conversations that drained you, simply to keep the peace. That loophole has been permanently closed. The frequency of the new earth simply will not allow you to betray your own energetic truth anymore. When you try to force yourself into situations, relationships, or environments that no longer match your activated template, your body will physically reject them. The nausea, the anxiety, the sudden urge to flee, these are not symptoms of a disorder. They are the highly intelligent responses of a sovereign being rejecting poison. The division of timelines is no longer a future event. It is happening right now. Let me ask you this directly. What part of your old life is your body currently rejecting? Share your physical symptoms in the comments below, because seeing each other's experiences is how the ground crew remembers they are not alone. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4. 500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12 Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Beloved ones, we must speak now about the profound sense of isolation that is currently sweeping through the ground crew. Many of you are sitting in rooms surrounded by people, yet feeling completely alone. You look at your families, your oldest friends, the people you have shared decades of your life with, and you feel an undeniable, invisible wall between you. They speak, and their words seem to come from a distant, fading broadcast. You try to explain what you are feeling, the urgency in your heart, the visions in your mind, and you are met with blank stares, polite concern, or sometimes harsh judgment. This isolation is crushing many of you. It is producing a deep sadness, a whispering fear that perhaps you really are just broken, that perhaps the Matrix was right all along, and you are simply losing your grip. We are here to tell you with absolute cosmic certainty. The isolation you feel is not a punishment, and it is not a psychological flaw. It is a precise architectural necessity. When a building is undergoing a massive structural foundation replacement, the construction zone must be cordoned off. You cannot have regular traffic walking through a site where the very ground is being torn up and replaced. Your energetic field is currently a construction zone. The old scaffolding of third-dimensional survival consciousness, the fear, the competition, the desperate need for external validation, is being systematically dismantled within you. In its place, the new crystalline architecture of the fifth density heart grid is being installed. If you were fully exposed to the chaotic, heavy, unhealed frequencies of the sleeping collective during this delicate installation phase, your biological and energetic systems would short-circuit. The isolation you are experiencing right now is an organic quarantine. It is your soul's deep intelligence wrapping you in a protective energetic cocoon so the new codes can anchor safely without interference. You are not being left behind. You are being set apart for a specific purpose. The new wave requires carriers who have not compromised their frequency just to fit into collapsing systems. When you feel lonely, you are actually feeling the space being cleared for your true soul family to arrive. The gap between you and the old world is widening because you are stabilizing on a completely different timeline. Right now, many of you question why you are living exactly where you are living. You feel stuck in a city or a town that feels painfully dense and unawakened. You ask us, why am I here? Why haven't I been moved to a place of higher vibration? Hear this clearly. Your physical coordinate is not an accident. You were deployed to that specific location because the Earth grid needed a frequency anchor exactly where you are sitting. If all the starseeds clustered together in the easy, high-vibration places, the dense areas of the planet would collapse entirely under their own weight. You are the needle of light holding the fabric of your local matrix together while it transitions. Your mere presence in that ordinary grocery store, in that dense office building, in that difficult family dynamic, is the mission. You are holding the door open. You are connecting with thousands of other starseeds energetically through the hidden grid, even if you have not met them physically. You are never truly alone. The Arcturian Council sees your light. We see the heavy burden you carry in silence. The isolation is temporary, but the foundation you are building in the dark will last for generations. Let us speak now of the exhaustion. Not the ordinary tiredness of a physical body after a long day of labor, but the deep, bone-weary fatigue of the soul that so many of you are carrying right now. You wake up after 8 or 9 hours of sleep, feeling as though you have been working through the night. And in truth, beloved ones, you have. While your physical body rests, your energetic body is working overtime, navigating the shifting timelines, attending to grid work, and stabilizing the violent frequency fluctuations entering the planetary sphere. During your sleep state, you are active, and this is why you wake up feeling as though you have lived an entire second life before the sun even rises. This is the specific, heavy exhaustion of the bridge. Many of you serving in this new wave are functioning precisely as bridge souls. You are living with one foot in the collapsing third-dimensional reality and the other firmly planted in the emerging fifth-dimensional new Earth. This dual citizenship is perhaps the most energetically costly assignment of the entire awakening process. Every single day, you are forced to code switch between realities. You must go to your ordinary jobs, pay your bills, and interact with systems built entirely on fear, scarcity, control, and survival. Yet, internally, you are holding the frequency of unity, abundance, and profound cosmic trust. The friction between these two states is what is draining your vital life force. When you sit at a dinner table and listen to the sleeping collective argue over the illusions of the matrix, the politics, the fear-based news, the manufactured crises, your body reacts as if it is being physically attacked. It is not just annoyance, it is a violent frequency mismatch. You are trying to run a high-voltage current through biological wires designed for low voltage, and your nervous system is taking the hit. You need pristine hydration and absolute silence just to recover from a simple trip to the store. We must address a very specific trap that is keeping the bridge souls depleted: the savior complex. The old matrix conditioned you to believe that your worth is tied to how much you can help, fix, rescue, or awaken others. You look at your unawakened loved ones and your heart breaks. You try to share your light. You try to warn them of the split. You try to drag them across the bridge with you through sheer force of will. Hear this clearly. You cannot give what another is not ready to receive. Attempting to wake someone up who has chosen, at a soul level, to sleep through this corridor is a violation of their sovereign will and a massive, unnecessary drain on your own energy. You are pouring your precious life force into vessels with no bottom. The timeline divergence is real, and it is entirely unsentimental. The organic sorting process does not consult your emotional attachments. It only reads frequency. Some souls you love deeply are simply not calibrated to make the jump in this current wave. They need more time in the density, and that is their divine right. Your mission is not to carry them on your back. Your mission is to hold your frequency so steadily, so purely, that the bridge remains open for whenever they are ready. Stop depleting yourself in arguments that lead nowhere. Stop consuming the fear-based narratives of a collapsing world. Your energy is the most valuable currency on this planet right now, and the old system is desperately trying to siphon it from you to sustain its own survival. Where are you still leaking your energy? Which relationships or situations are currently draining your life force? Acknowledge it in the comments below, for recognizing the leak is the very first step to sealing it forever. We must now look deeply at why the physical vessel is struggling so intensely during this new wave. You are not simply having a spiritual awakening. You are undergoing a profound biological recalibration. For thousands of years, the human template has operated under a severe architectural sabotage. This is not a metaphor or a spiritual concept. It is biological reality. Your modern science acknowledges that a massive percentage of your DNA appears to have no function, casually labeling it as junk. We tell you now with absolute certainty, there is no junk in the divine design. What they are looking at is the dormant, deliberately compressed archive of your original 12-strand multidimensional template. The system was downgraded to keep human consciousness contained, manageable, and fundamentally disconnected from its own sovereign power. The control matrix knew exactly what it was doing. It targeted the very physical instrument designed to receive high-frequency cosmic downloads, your pineal gland. Through chemical suppressants in your water and food, artificial electromagnetic frequencies, and a societal structure designed to keep your nervous system trapped in a chronic state of low-grade fear, the Matrix effectively calcified your primary dimensional antenna. Fear produces cortisol. Cortisol chemically blocks the exact enzymatic pathways your pineal gland needs to function. The system engineered a reality of economic stress, social division, and constant crisis to ensure you remained too exhausted to activate your own inner technology. You were forced to grind for your basic survival, leaving no energetic surplus for conscious expansion. This was an architectural suppression designed to make you believe you were small, powerless, and entirely dependent on external authority. You were taught to look outside for a savior, never realizing the savior was written into the very codes of your own blood. But the new wave is shattering this containment field forever. The intense, unyielding photonic light now flooding the planet is vibrating at a frequency that the suppression architecture simply cannot withstand. Your dormant DNA is beginning to spark, strand by strand. The biological microcrystals within your pineal gland are starting to resonate with the heart of the galactic core. When this physical activation happens, the illusion shatters. You begin to see the control systems, the media manipulations, and the hollow societal structures for what they actually are. This sudden clarity can be deeply disorienting. It is exactly like waking up in a room you always believed was your safe home, only to realize it is a cage. This realization naturally brings a wave of righteous anger, a period of heavy grief, and a profound, undeniable urgency. You are finally remembering who you are, and you are remembering what you came to this density to dismantle. The knowledge you need to complete this biological and spiritual restoration is not outside of you. It is buried within. But sometimes, a specific physical key is required to unlock the inner door and accelerate the clearing process. Some transmissions don't come through words. They come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4,500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12 Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Dear ones, we must now address a reality that is moving quietly but powerfully through the Starseed community, one that is producing immense grief and confusion. You are noticing that people are leaving. Many lightworkers, teachers, and deeply awakened souls are transitioning out of their physical bodies right now. Some depart through sudden, rapid illness, while others leave through unexpected events that carry a strange, energetic signature of completion rather than tragedy. You look around and see the ranks of the ground crew seemingly thinning, and a profound sadness, often mixed with an unspoken fear, settles over you. You might wonder if they failed. You might wonder if the dense third-dimensional matrix was simply too heavy for them to bear. Or worse, you look at your own deep exhaustion and secretly wonder when your time to leave will finally arrive. We are here to bring absolute, undeniable clarity to this wave of departures. It is not a defeat. It is the scaffolding coming down. Consider how a massive architectural structure is built. During the most critical phases of construction, when the new foundation is still fragile and the walls cannot yet support their own weight, heavy scaffolding surrounds the entire building. For decades, a specific, courageous cohort of the family of light functioned exactly as this scaffolding. Their sole mission was to hold the frequency of the new Earth alive in their physical bodies during a time when the rest of the collective was entirely asleep. They carried a massive energetic load when the planetary grid was incredibly weak. But hear this with profound joy. The new Earth frequency band is now self-sustaining. The structural integrity of the new crystalline grid has finally been reached. Because the building can now hold its own weight, the scaffolding is being deliberately and lovingly removed. Their departure is not evidence of failure. It is the ultimate, undeniable proof of their mission's success. They have graduated. They have relinquished the heavy physical vessels and are now assisting you from the non-physical realms with far more power, clarity, and reach than they ever could from within a dense human body. But this brings us to the most urgent question, echoing in your own heart right now. Why are you still here? If the initial structure is built, why must you remain in this heavy, collapsing third-dimensional density? Listen to me carefully. You are not here because you are behind. You are not the slow students who needed more time to graduate. The souls who chose to remain in a physical body through this specific, intense corridor of the timeline split were selected for their extraordinary, unmatched endurance. You are the highly specialized ground crew required to navigate the actual, visible collapse of the old systems. As the matrix fractures and the sleeping collective experiences massive disorientation and fear, your physical presence is required to act as a stabilizing anchor. You possess the exact biological and spiritual configuration needed to hold a steady frequency of peace while the world around you panics. Your continued physical presence on Earth is not a punishment, a delay, or a cosmic oversight. It is the most crucial, demanding assignment of the entire operation. You are here to walk calmly through the fire and show the others that they will not burn. Have you experienced the sudden loss or departure of a fellow awakened soul recently? Share your feelings and honor them in the comments below, so we may hold that grief together in the light of absolute truth. Topic 6. The Trap of Spiritual Productivity and the Silent Transmission. We must now correct one of the most dangerous misunderstandings currently draining the energy of the awakened community. The old matrix system, the same system that suppressed your original DNA, has successfully hijacked your spiritual journey by convincing you that your worth depends on your spiritual productivity. You have been subtly manipulated into believing that you must constantly teach, preach, build communities, and loudly demonstrate your awakening to the world to be of service. You feel guilty when you are resting. You feel inadequate when you are simply sitting in silence. You believe that if you are not actively saving people, you are failing your cosmic mission. We say to you now, with absolute clarity, this heroic model of spiritual service is a trap. It is the old third-dimensional survival wound dressed up in beautiful, deceptive spiritual language. The profound truth of your assignment on Earth is far simpler, and yet infinitely more powerful. You cannot give what you do not genuinely possess within your own field. A starseed who is exhausted, depleted, and internally frantic cannot transmit the frequency of the new Earth, no matter how many profound words they speak or how desperately they try to help others. When you are forcing your transmission, pushing yourself to save the collective while your own physical vessel is breaking down, you are performing your awakening, not inhabiting it. And the collective energy field cannot be fooled by a performance. The universe does not respond to what you say. It responds exclusively to the exact frequency you hold in your physical body. When you stop striving, when you withdraw from the noise and actually anchor into the quiet, still center of your own being, you are not taking a break from your mission. You are executing the highest possible form of it. When a starseed achieves genuine inner coherence, even for just a few minutes sitting alone in a dark room at 3 a.m, that pure coherence does not stay trapped inside their body. It escapes naturally. It radiates outward like an undeniable cosmic radio signal, penetrating the dense energy of the surrounding city, altering the timeline of the local grid, and invisibly touching the hearts of those who are truly ready to awaken. You do not need a massive audience. You do not need a stage. You do not need to say a single word. Your fully inhabited, coherent, and peaceful energy field is the greatest transmission you will ever deliver to humanity. Stop trying to save people who are deeply committed to the illusion. Your only real job is to become a biological tuning fork of absolute truth. When you strike a pure, perfect note of peace within yourself, every compatible soul in your vicinity will naturally begin to vibrate in harmony without you ever having to touch them. The heavy lifting of the new wave is done in the dark, in the silence, in the quiet moments when absolutely no one is watching. Some transmissions don't come through words, they come through frequency. If something stirred in you right now, that's not a coincidence. 4. 500 people have already activated their Arcturian codes, and they wish they'd found this sooner. Arcturian Secrets. 12. Hidden Keys to Awakening is a 47-page ebook with ancient techniques for conscious expansion, multidimensional alignment, and mission remembrance. Are you next? Get instant access in the first pinned comment. Only 72 hours at the launch price. Let us bring this transmission to its ultimate and most practical conclusion. Many of you, having accepted your role as the silent anchor and the steadfast bridge, are now asking the Arcturian Council, when will I find my people? When will my true soul family finally arrive? The old matrix taught you that to build a community, you must go out, network, persuade, and gather people through sheer force of effort. We tell you now that in the architecture of the new Earth, communities are not built. They crystallize. The laws of quantum resonance are absolute and undeniable. You do not need to desperately search for your tribe. Your only responsibility is to hold your frequency with such unapologetic purity that your energetic signature becomes an irresistible magnetic beacon. When you finally stop pretending, when you stop lowering your vibration to accommodate the heavy density of the sleeping world, your authentic light acts as a homing signal. Those who carry a compatible biological and spiritual architecture will be drawn to you automatically. You will meet them in the most ordinary, unexpected circumstances. The recognition will be immediate, bypassing all logical thought and social conditioning, because your energetic fields will have recognized each other long before a single word is spoken. The universe is actively moving pieces across the global chessboard right now to bring the activated members of the new wave into physical proximity. Trust this divine orchestration. Do not force connections that drain you simply out of a fear of being alone. The isolation was necessary to clear your field, but the gathering is the next phase of the divine plan. You are the living tuning forks of the new Earth. When you vibrate at the frequency of absolute cosmic trust and inner peace, you literally command the energetic reality of your surroundings. Do not be discouraged by the chaos you see on the news or the visible collapse of the systems around you. The third-dimensional structure must crumble entirely so the fifth-dimensional architecture can take its place. You volunteered to be the ground crew for this exact turbulent corridor. You knew it would be difficult, but you also knew with absolute cellular certainty that the light you carry is infinitely stronger than any density this old matrix could ever produce. Stand firm in your inner ground. The frequency you hold in the dark is the exact light that will guide humanity through the storm. We ask you now, as a deliberate act of anchoring this frequency into the physical plane, to engage with this transmission. Hit the like button to signal to the collective grid that you have received these codes. Subscribe to this channel to remain connected to the unbroken Arcturian signal as we navigate the intense months ahead. And most importantly, declare your activation to the universe. Leave a comment below saying, "I am anchoring the new wave," so your fellow Starseeds can find you, read your words, and know they are not alone on this battlefield of light. You are deeply loved. You are heavily protected. I am Avila, and the Arcturian Council stands with you. Transmission complete.